Text 40. Thus, the personality of Kali, by the directions of Maharaj Parikshit, the son of Uttara, was allowed to live in those 5 places. Purport. Thus, the age of Kali began with gold standardization, and therefore falsity, intoxication, animal slaughter, and prostitution are rampant all over the world, and the saner section is eager to drive out corruption. The counteracting process is suggested above, and everyone can take advantage of this suggestion. Text 41. Therefore, whoever desires progressive well-being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, brahmanas, and sannyasis, should never come in contact with the 4 above-mentioned irreligious principles. Purport. The brahmanas are the religious preceptors for all the other castes, and the sannyasis are the spiritual masters for all the castes and orders of society. So also are the king and the public leaders who are responsible for the material welfare of all people. The progressive religionists and those who are responsible human beings, or those who do not want to spoil their valuable human lives, should refrain from all the principles of irreligiosity, especially illicit connection with women. If a brahmana is not truthful, all his claims as a brahmana at once become null and void. If a sannyasi is illicitly connected with women, all his claims as a sannyasi at once become false. Similarly, if the king and the public leader are unnecessarily proud or habituated to drinking and smoking, certainly they become disqualified to discharge public welfare activities. Truthfulness is the basic principle for all religions. The 4 leaders of the human society, namely the sannyasis, the brahmana, the king, and the public leader, must be tested crucially by their character and qualification. Before one can be accepted as a spiritual or material master of society, he must be tested by the above-mentioned criteria of character. Such public leaders may be less qualified in academic qualifications, but it is necessary primarily that they be free from the contamination of the 4 disqualifications, namely gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter. Text 42. Translation. Thereafter, the king reestablished the lost legs of the personality of religion, the bull, and by encouraging activities he sufficiently improved the condition of the earth, the cow. Purport. By designating particular places for the personality of Kali, Maharaj Parikshit practically cheated Kali. In the presence of Kali, Dharma in the shape of a bull, and the earth in the shape of a cow, he could actually estimate the general condition of his kingdom, and therefore he at once took proper steps to reestablish the legs of the bull, namely austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. And for the general benefit of the people of the world, he saw that the gold stock might be employed for stabilization. Gold is certainly a generator of falsity, intoxication, prostitution, enmity, and violence, but under the guidance of a proper king or public leader, or a brahmana or sannyasi, the same gold can be properly utilized to reestablish the lost legs of the bull, the personality of religion. Maharaj Parikshit, therefore, like his grandfather Arjuna, collected all illicit gold kept for the propensities of Kali and employed it in the Sankirtan Yajna as per instruction of the Srimad Bhagavatam. As we have suggested before, one's accumulated wealth may be divided into 3 parts for distribution, namely 50% for the service of the Lord, 25% for the family members, and 25% for personal necessities. Spending 50% for the service of the Lord or for the propagation of spiritual knowledge in society by the way of the Sankirtan Yajna is the maximum display of human mercy. People of the world are generally in darkness regarding spiritual knowledge, especially in regard to the devotional service of the Lord, and therefore, to propagate the systematic transcendental knowledge of devotional service is the greatest mercy that one can show in this world. When everyone is taught to sacrifice 50% of his accumulated gold for the service of the Lord, certainly austerity, cleanliness, and mercy automatically ensue, and thus the lost 3 legs of the personality of religion are automatically established. When there is sufficient austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, naturally Mother Earth is completely satisfied, and there is very little chance for Kali to infiltrate the structure of human society. So in this verse we're seeing that gold, the natural tendency is towards, if a person has a stock of gold, is to become degraded. So we have to be very vigilant in the utilization of our gold or our material assets in the service of the Sankirtan movement. As discussed previously, the Sankirtan movement has basically three features. The first feature is to stop the unnecessary slaughter of cows and other animals for the satisfaction of the tongue. The second feature is the use of congregational gathering and through musical instruments and musical services to sing the praises of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the divine couple in a congregational sense with the use of musical instruments according to the time, place, and circumstance of the different people around the world and their understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is the second feature. And the third feature is that when we prepare our foodstuffs, before we ingest the foodstuffs, to vibrate a prayer of loving thanksgiving, and this will change the very essence and the very nature of this foodstuff to turn it from material to spiritual benefit. So the three features: stop animal slaughter, praise the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the divine couple through musical sound vibration in a congregational setting, and thirdly, to offer a prayer of thanksgiving so that the foodstuffs that we ingest, the vegetarian foodstuffs that we ingest actually become a communion between the person who vibrates the prayer of thanksgiving and the Supreme Creator of all that be and Mother Earth. So it's not very difficult. It's three simple things. Anybody can do it. Any part of the world, according to your understanding. So give it a try. There will be no loss. There will be no diminution. This will be for the benefit of all mankind. And rather than all the different assets of and all the different degradations of Kali Yuga that we currently see running rampant, and which are being actually encouraged by the government and the master manipulators behind the scenes, because they know this knowledge. They know that these are the tendencies of people in this age to become degraded into intoxication, into prostitution, into drug abuse, into animal slaughter. And they use all these things against us as weapons because they know in this age we're prone to it. They're using the ancient sacred knowledge of the Vedas against us. And if you just take a quick look at anything that's going on and see the things that are pushed on people, how could the conclusion be anything else that they know this knowledge and they are using this very knowledge against us? Because that is all you see being pushed on people, is gambling, intoxication, meat eating, and illicit sex. These are the weaponization of the Vedic knowledges by the master manipulators. And I'm here to help break open the storehouse of this Vedic knowledge for the benefit of people so that it can be used for its original purpose, for the original meaning, for the righteous meaning, which is for the upliftment of mankind. So to a certain extent, if not fully, immediately, we have to start to turn away from these principles and use our stock of wealth or our stock of energy or whatever we maybe have for the righteous causes of austerity, mercy, truthfulness, and cleanliness, rather than for the degraded purposes that they're trying to push on us of gambling, intoxication, meat eating, and illicit sex. And this will help the human society very greatly to whatever extent that we can do it. Text 43 and 44. Translation. The most fortunate emperor, Maharaj Parikshit, who was entrusted with the kingdom of Hastinapur by Maharaj Yudhisthira when he desired to retire from the forest, is now ruling the world with great success due to his being glorified by the deeds of the king of the Kuru dynasty. Purport. The prolonged sacrificial ceremonies undertaken by the sages of Naimisharan were begun shortly after the demise of Maharaj Parikshit. The sacrifice was to continue for 1,000 years, and it is understood that in the beginning some of the contemporaries of Baladev, the elder brother of Lord Krishna, also visited the sacrificial place. According to some authorities, the present tense is also used to indicate the nearest margin of time from the past. In that sense, the present tense is applied to the reign of Maharaj Parikshit here. For a continuous fact also, present tense can be used. The principles of Maharaj Parikshit can be still continued, and human society can still be improved if there is a determination by the authorities. We can still purge out from the state all the activities of immorality introduced by the personality of Kali, if we are determined to take action like Maharaj Parikshit. He allotted some place for Kali, but in fact Kali could not find such places in the world at all because Maharaj Parikshit was strictly vigilant to see that there were no places for gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter. Modern administrators want to banish corruption from the state, but fools as they are, they do not know how to do it. They want to issue licenses for gambling houses, wine and other intoxicating drug houses, brothels, hotel prostitution, and cinema houses, and falsity in every dealing, even in their own. And they want at the same time to drive out corruption from the state. They want the kingdom of God without God consciousness. How can it be possible to adjust two contradictory matters? If we want to drive out corruption from the state, we must first of all organize society to accept the principles of religion, namely austerity, mercy, and truthfulness. And to make the condition favorable, we must close all places of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and falsity. These are some of the practical lessons from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm going to have to stop there because we're about out of time. And I would just like to thank everyone for listening today, whether you're listening live or whether you're going to listen in the archive. I appreciate it, and thank you very much to everyone. If you'd like more information, you can go to my website, protectacow.typepad.com. That's protectacow.typepad.com. If you just Google the words Protect a Cow, then you will see links to my website. And please remember to join us next week, next Saturday at noon, and we'll go on continuing the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam and the ancient Vedic knowledge and put it into a modern context. So I really appreciate everyone listening. Thank you very much. Visit the website, and we'll see you next week.
Gai Gora Chan Madhur Sare. This is a song sung by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He says that Lord Chaitanya, Gora means Lord Chaitanya, Gaur Sundar, the fair complexion. Gai Gora Chan Madhur Sare. In sweet voice, he is singing Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.